And we're back pretty fast.
That gets quicker every time.
I know, right? It feels like the time goes faster and faster as the nights go by. We'll go to HellRaisers versus Vici Gaming. The draft has started. I was talking about the Night Stalker. Unfortunately, we won't see any Night Stalker in this game because it was banned. Look at this.
In the first phase. This takes me back 4 years to TI1.
Back in my day, Night Stalker was the hero.
Night Stalker and Lich.
You're still my worst friend, Shannon. That hasn't changed.
And
Anti-Mage?
Nature's Prophet, Anti-Mage were kind of like also. Remember, it had Dota has so few heroes, Dota 2, that you had 4 bans instead of 5.
Yeah.
So
that was how it was in Dota 1 also, wasn't it?
It was just a 1-to-1 port of the ban. Captain's mode just got reworked.
Captain's
mode. To the better. The new
I think so too. It was also the picks were like 1-1-1-1-1-1. So
yes.
In the ban, there was never 2 phases.
Wasn't
either,
it just 1-1-2-2-2-2-1?
That
eventually
might have come after. I actually can't remember. It's been a while. It's possible it was 1-2-2-2.
It was 1-2-2-2-2-1 with like no middle banning stage from what. Maybe it was 1-1-1-1 initially.
It changed so many times. At some point, first pick had like 2 and 3 together, and second pick had 1 and 2 together. It was very weird. But we will see the Vengeful Spirit, which is not weird at all. This is a hero that is one of the most picked and banned, just behind Lion, during this tournament. And with good reason. You can pretty much pair it with anything.
I think Vici won Venge Tide. That's like their bread and butter for the dire side especially. They love the dire side Tide. You can easily kill the Ancient stacks with the Venge Wave of Terra Anchor Smash. It just seems to be like one of their go-tos.
I'm looking at the Venge games, and they play with pretty much everything. They play Venge Alchemies, they play Venge Drow and Medusa, they play Venge Shadowfiend Chen, they play Venge Juggernaut Viper. They're all over the place. HellRaisers is going to get Rubik and Troll Warlord, maybe taking a page out of Navi, talking to Vanskor and Havos and say, how do we maximize this hero? And well, they get it right now.
Well, might make Vici Gaming think twice about the Tide, because they can steal Ravage. But I generally don't think you should be intimidated by that. You need to have enough faith in Ice 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 to, first of all, land a good Ravage, and should he not hit Rubik, instant Anchor Smash, and then you steal something useless.
I think Tide is generally decent against Troll too, as with the Anchor Smash. And not a good Phoenix game as well. We brought up the Phoenix a lot against the Battle Trance.
That's like the best counter in the game. Battle Trance ruins that hero. Battle Trance, Meepo.
Meepo, yeah.
And it's just broken that Meepo.
Ursa.
Ursa, no, not Windranger. Never mind, that got changed a while ago. So yeah. Lifestealer is pretty good too. Yeah. Anyway, I think I would pick Tide of Vici Gaming now if I have that much confidence in my ability.
Axis.
So here we go, Medusa, as expected.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's okay.
Hold it. They only have one Medusa game in the last 10 games. It was versus Rave. It was a very long game. They won, of course, but it went 53 minutes. Naturally, since it's a Medusa.
Now, so something about Medusa that we think is good against the HellRaisers playstyle. I did not cast a single HellRaisers game. I came to that realization when we started talking about HellRaisers. I'm like, I didn't see any of these games. I did not cast a single HellRaisers game.
They are pretty much in your face.
Okay.
So Stone Gaze is very good against that. We already see the setup here. They like engaging and taking fights. It kind of gives flashbacks to, or not flashbacks, it's kind of representative of what's the stereotypical CIS aggressive Dota playstyle. That's what they play. Just that they play it more controlled. So they don't overextend so much, and they're very good at combining their abilities correctly and positioning well. But it's the aggressiveness that's really what they play by. So Dusa is good against that. It's also been a pretty solid pick overall in this tournament. I would like to think it's positive win rate at the very least.
Yes. I will tell you exactly how much.
Expecting a Nyx ban here, but
yeah, that
Troll
would be really
always
good.
He seems to do pretty well against Medusa once he gets Diffusal, which I'm assuming he's going to end up going at some point.
Did we see that yet?
Yeah, we've seen it. It was
okay.
It wasn't great, but it was okay. But Nyx is just trashes the Mana Shield. And they still have room for another support, or it could be, well, I guess it would be an offlaner.
Alternatives
is still there somehow.
Alternatives are Necrobook carriers. I think HellRaisers wouldn't mind picking up a Lycan. That's also very good for their style.
Lycan and Troll.
Medusa has played 23 games, won 12 of them, so just above 50%.
Oh, she's 12-11.
12-11, yes.
Okay, well that's not really. And there's the Lycan ban. So
yes,
I agree with that ban entirely. I think it would have been scary.
Do you think Nyx is worth the pick? The hero just seems so underwhelming, other than the mana, the mana burn.
Everyone who I've seen who's not called S4 play the hero, the hero never looks like it's that good, even against Medusas.
I think Ohio was good.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be...
Maybe one.
As long as you have level 4 mana burn, that's at least something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The hero, everything else just seems underwhelming.
If everyone else in the other cores are very, very squishy, let's say you have a pack that went for a very greedy build with Midas and Blink Dagger, then suddenly the Nyx is a little bit more tempting because you could potentially solo burst him if you're having a good game.
This is a good ban, by the way.
But with a lot of tankiness going around and just things that have ways to deal with Nyx, it's very complicated. You have to fit it not only with your lineup, but also with the lineup that your opponent has.
I mean, that begs the question, okay, let's say Nyx is just 100% useless in the game.
Right.
All he's there for is to get rid of the mana shield, which he does basically 80% of the mana shield. Is that worth it at all? Is that enough for a pick?
If it fits the rest of their strategy, yes. And they don't need to decide yet. They can wait for 4th pick, and maybe even 5th. A couple of things I want to mention about this game, actually. HellRaisers, we saw them in a game against eHome, and they had a Slark who was 20-0, and they lost that game.
Oh, yeah.
And they played into, guess what, a Medusa, and they overextended, and they got caught by Stonegaze a couple of times, and then they ended up losing. Hopefully they learned something from
That was
game.
their turning point of the tournament. Until that point, they were pretty underwhelming and not doing very well. After losing that game with the overextensions, they changed their methods and became more objective-oriented.
Yeah.
So I think there was some lesson to be learned. And we get to see the Ember Spirit, and this has surprised me. Super, an amazing Ember Spirit player by himself.
Yep.
But Ember Spirit is a hero that has been neglected quite a bit during this tournament.
Yeah. We kind of talked about it yesterday, how his main weakness being played solo mid is that he generally doesn't win lane against anyone.
Mm-hmm.
He can, but it's very, very selective what heroes he beats in lane. And a lot of the popular ones, such as Troll and Shadow Fiend, just run him over in lane. So that's a weakness, but if you safe lane him, I think he gets a lot more merit.
He comes online very fast, and that's something which is very important against HellRaisers if they're playing aggressive.
Yes.
He's a great mid-game tempo controller. And then the Medusa in the mid lane's that kind of ungankable force.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Core Warlock.
This
Here
is
we go.
This is a core lock, and this is something that HellRaisers has picked quite a few times. They won versus LGD Gaming with core lock. They won versus Cloud9, and they won versus HGT.
3-0?
3-0, yeah.
That's good. It's their second Night Stalker.
And every time they run it, two of the times they run it with PA as well. Whether we might see a PA, it's not the greatest hero against Medusa, but it deals with Ember Spirit very well because of his very squishiness and lack of armor.
Exactly. She is a very good pick against Ember, especially once she gets Abyssal. Will often shut him down before he can even cast a spell.
Right.
So that would be a pretty cool pickup for HellRaisers. I think Vici might have done their homework and ban it out, though. This is very... PA with Battle Trance is pretty scary as well. But they could choose to ban out the Anti-Mage as well that we've seen HellRaisers play. I think that's also a very good pick in this game.
Yeah.
And there we go. We were talking about it. We're going to see the Phoenix of Ice. Pretty
It's not-
ballsy picking it into Battle Trance.
Yeah.
It is. It's also sometimes be played as a support. Even going back to the Summit, Fenrir sometimes played it in the kind of 4-position role. So
That's true.
looking at this, I think you want to be prioritizing Phoenix getting more levels being in that off lane. But
Is Phoenix kind of like Warlock, where his ability as a support decreases a lot compared to being a core?
Not in the same way.
Warlock as a core is all about the itemization, getting the Axe Refresher. Phoenix as a core is all about getting the levels. I think they're very different. Like, Phoenix just goes for the Midas. It's kind of like, what item do you get on Phoenix to have a high impact? There isn't... I mean, you can maybe get a mech for the team, but...
It's a cool thing about the hero is that the majority of its impact is pretty much item independent. There's very few heroes that work like that. Both supports and cores we've talked a lot about how much Lion can do, but you really want that Blink Dagger for the mid game, right? Phoenix in theory doesn't really need anything at all. You could, boots, just so you're a bit mobile, but everything else beyond that is actually luxury, and that's a very, very unique thing about the hero is just the way the ultimate works. So because of that, you can play it support, but like Gods pointed out, you need to find the levels. I don't think you do that this game on a support. So simply because, with the Ember Spirit, they have kill potential in the lanes, but the overall mobility of their lineup, if they want to gank, they either need to gank for a Medusa, or the Ember Spirit needs to participate in some sort of team fights across the map, or their offlaner needs to be easy to gank for. But I'm gonna say Anti-Mage.
For HellRaisers.
Okay.
Yes.
The question is,
Or
they
Lifestealer.
already have a troll, so if they choose to play another carry like a PA or an anti-mage, they will probably go for dual lanes and will have something like a troll Rubik. Nice.
Bang.
What a
Is this a troll Rubik off lane?
They may even offensive trialing this. Witch Doctor Rubik, a pretty good offensive trialing. I mean, they've even done the anti-mage in the offensive
Witch Doctor
trialing.
Rubik Anti-Mage is actually my guess. Aggressive trialing. If the
Yeah.
last pick from Vici is too weak in lane, that's... What lane was it they ran against? I'm asking
Against-
you. I know you don't like when I ask
like
you
how you
questions.
look at me as if I know.
And
Sorry, what was the question?
they played an aggressive trial lane against Secret. I remember the game.
HellRaisers?
Yes, I know. I remember
damn it.
Secret's lane. Okay, wait a minute. They had AA Anti-Mage and another ranged hero. Venge, I think, was their aggressive trial lane.
I
actually almost
I
100%
could
sure
tell
now.
you. I have to find it though.
Trust
That's a
your gut, bro.
long time ago. It was on day 2, I think. So you have to scroll pretty far for that one.
Yep. Venge
Venge AAAM.
Yep.
So that lane is, of course, very different in nature from this one, but I still think this lane that HellRaisers are running is pretty powerful. He went Crimson Guard that game. I remember.
By the way,
Oh, I do remember.
oh, Mirana is going
I
to
thought
be-
this is a Vici Gaming classic. They love doing this with the Ember Spirit because, like, once you have 2 points in Searing Chains, if it's a mid Ember or whatever lane Ember, you hit the Searing Chains. It's pretty much guarantees an arrow setup, well, follow up, and just in general, like for fighting a trialing versus trialing, it's a pretty useful hero to have.
I think this was popularized by Ferrari and IG, right?
Oh yeah, that was the Chuan Ferrari as well that
Yeah.
used to run it a lot.
And Vici Gaming were able to pull off the same stuff because they have
Yeah.
very talented players on both heroes as well.
Mhm.
So we're going to see Black on Medusa. I think that's a first for this tournament. I would guess so. I feel like Super played it every time.
I want to say that Black played it
He's
once
played it
already.
at least once.
One
From
time.
a game
Okay.
that
Yes.
I recall.
So is that Super mid? Or do they put Black mid?
That is, I would say that you put super mid.
I think super mid just for the because you can get the Ember Spirit online very quickly with the help of the arrows and just find lots of early kills potentially.
Doesn't he
even.
just get run over in lane by Troll, though? But if it's core lock, that's true. If we're expecting the aggressive
Yes.
trial lane from HR, that obviously changes the perspective.
If Warlock goes to the solo safe lane though, and they put troll mid, that
That's
might
true.
be
They could do that.
favorable to super. Everyone is going to the top lane right now, so we'll see what happens there. We're gonna go into the casters, but before going there, I want to just make a short note. The prize pool of the Dota 2 Asian Championship has, as of now, surpassed TA3,
Yeah.
making it the second biggest prize pool in Dota 2 and in esports with $2.875 million. That is a lot of million.
Round of
dollars.
applause.
Yay! Yay, money!
We did it, Reddit.
And we did it. With
Damn,
that
Reddit's
note
putting
of
a lot of money
joy,
into
we
this
go
tournament.
to LD and WinteR, which are going to be casting the game. Guys, good luck. See you later.
Hello, folks. We are live here. It's Vici Gaming on the Dire, HR on the Radiant, as we get underway with our game 1 of this best of 3. Hey, WinteR, how you doing?
I'm looking forward to this game.
Do you believe in the Ice Phoenix?
He plays a very good Phoenix, but I'm more concerned about their safe lane right now, since HR are going to be really aggressive with the anti-mage here, with the Rubik and Witch Doctor as their supports.
All right, we'll try to introduce our players when we have a moment, but first, a clash. Goddamn, gonna get caught out. The arrow tank, but there's a 2-hero chains to follow this up. They cliff super off the bat. Oh my, what a bloody mess. The bounty run snag by Arts. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the Phoenix happily grabbing one of its own for Ice, and now just chilling on a cliff. He's gonna be here for a while.
I don't think they need to kill him at all. They
Just
should
leave him.
Leave him there until they can even see if the courier tries to send a TP over, because there's a ward there.
All right, well, this got interesting. So we'll go ahead and introduce the teams now. HR on the Radiant squad. So we've got Goddamn playing the Rubik, off to a very nice start there. Dread on your support. Witch Doctor. Arts, known for his aggressive trialing anti-mage, as the analysts were mentioning. He has done this before to great success early on. Affinage as the troll in the mid lane, and that leaves Gorish as the safe lane warlock. Of course, Ice going to reprise his role on that off-lane Phoenix. We saw it earlier this tournament. Black, your solo mid Medusa. Super, going to be playing the Ember Spirit. For now, his lane is the Cliff. Fenrir, the Venge. And getting a surprising amount of levels in farm early will be FY on the Mirana.
Man, I have no idea if they can. How can they actually remove him from the cliff apart from just waiting for the 3-minute flying courier? That's like the only way they can actually move him away.
Well, I know some cliffs you can actually deliver the TP.
Yeah, but the issue
it's
is the ward.
yeah.
They can never get the courier.
They probably have to wait.
This is very, very bad for VG. This changes the whole early game for VG Gaming. They can't gank with the Mirana.
Ice. Almost dying here bottom to that Warlock.
It's a tough lane for him, having very little armor against all the right clicks from the Warlock though. He should have quite a tough laning phase against the Warlock here.
Yeah, the Warlock having a good time. Your mid lane not going to be particularly easy either. As Troll 7-3 already off against that 5-2 Medusa.
Here comes Fenrir.
And they are going to try to make the best of it with some ganks. So they swing around this Vengeful Spirit. Actually smoked for this one. Gets in range for the stunning. Gorit's already used the nuke offensively, which means he doesn't have the heal for the way out. They'll dive in onto him, swinging around with that Phoenix. The last Spirit on the mark. They get the first blood. Well, you clip our Ember. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and grab a first blood elsewhere. Now Arts and Super will engage. And Super will be given mercy as they know that Courier upgrade is available fairly soon. They'll just send him packing back to the well. But unfortunately, they don't get the first blood.
Yeah, they were hoping that they actually get the first blood on the end, but they didn't. I'm not sure whether it will be worth it in the end because he actually spent so much time to try and get over there and kill the Ember, which gives him very little experience.
I mean, considering that their Ember got clipped at level 1, they still managed to get the first blood. Can't really be too unhappy about that.
Yeah.
They're going to swing through with Ice in the bottom lane. On to Goritz again. Just getting preyed upon by Fenrir as well. And the constant pressure comes out. He tries to throw out the hero with the spirits. Too much damage. Another kill here already. Meanwhile, top lane, Super under harassment as they got a Mirana kill during this time. But the Corlock dying repeatedly, WinteR, in a matchup where it looked like he would have the edge early on versus the Phoenix. Now, not the case.
Yeah, it's just very good rotations from the supports, like understanding that they couldn't do anything at top, nothing could be accomplished, and making a very quick rotation. He immediately rotated over with a smoke, which was like a very good decision. I don't think they could have actually gotten a better timing than that. It was like the best they could have got from the situation they were stuck in at the start of the game with the Ember on the cliff. And looking at the lanes right now, at the middle lane, Medusa is 15, Troll 16, fairly even there. And top lane would be HR's lane, and bottom lane would be VG winning it after the ganks from the bench. So far, still fairly even game for both the sides.
Yeah, of course, both sides with some very strong late game in their own rights. You've got Vici Gaming with the big team fight from the Egg as well as the Stone Gaze. HR have the Warlock ulti, potentially Witch Doctor ulti, Troll, plus another physical damage dealer in the Anti-Mage. Both teams very strong late. Both teams having a good start on most of their cores. The Phoenix a couple CS down, but getting the 2 kills should be completely happy. And, well, mid lane, just a farm trade for now. So, HR, I mean, it looked like they could have just run away with this one, honestly. They cliffed the Ember off the bat. They had so many options. He was cliffed at a spot where, as you mentioned, it's basically impossible to bring him a TP. But they end up not getting that first blood, and Vici Gaming just finding a way to claw their way back in.
The key point would be getting to win a team fight. If you're VG right now, you want to accomplish the Supernova plus Stone Gaze in a huge fight and hopefully get something out of there. At the moment, the lanes still going fairly well for them, but it will be very difficult for the Ember to somehow come back into the game. He's gonna take like probably a while before they actually can make him useful.
They do have good supports to set up kills, so we heard it a bit from the analysts. The chains into an arrow is pretty good. They also have the Venge stun set up. A lot of physical damage and buffs to couple with his Sleight of Fist, so there's definitely potential to get this Ember back involved, and he doesn't have to be the pure 1 position. They have the Medusa mid already for that. Just needs to find a way into the phase, maybe your drums, and look to get aggressive.
Yeah, and the moment HR realizes that there are no supports at top, their own supports are going to rotate and help the other lanes to make sure that the Venge and the Mirana don't get kills on the map. The aim is already going to dominate this Ember.
Oh, WinteR. This is just classic Vici Gaming. FY, Fenrir, roaming together, buying smokes already, leaving the Emperor alone, looking to make some plays. There's going to be an Invis rune bottom. The Radiant team does have vision of this, though. If they go for this rune, it could end up revealing the gank. Let's see if Vici try for it. They're actually going to drop a sentry here. And they're going to grab the Invis. No? Maybe not.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They're saving it for the... I think they should just give it to... Like, the Dusa doesn't even need it. He's just waiting if the troll comes, I guess. He's gonna use it to gank the Warlock again, most likely.
You will grab it. Were they watching?
Yeah, the ward was actually spotted the movement of the bench. Warlock should know what's going on here.
They can dive him pretty hard, though. They have the Icarus dive. They have the Venge.
Rubik has TP.
Wave of Terror.
Rubik has TP, so only one support at the moment has a TP scroll.
I don't know if that's enough against this chain stun. They get this magic missile. If they could set up an arrow from the side shot, which they're trying for now, it could go really well. But Fenrir drags the creeps into the arrow path, causing it to get blocked. Need to kind of swing his body to the left and keep the creeps off that arrow. But it would have been tough from that distance.
I don't think they saw the Rubik actually cancelling the TP, so this could be used on their advantage. They tried, maybe if they want to try and kill the Ember top, because they probably don't know the Rubik is actually still there.
In the meantime, Troll and Anti-Mage both free farming. 28 and 8 on the Troll, 26 and 8 on the Anti-Mage, about 5+ CS a minute for both. HR, they have shut down the Warlock early, but now they got to get more done. Ember top lane, bit of danger, but it's really mid lane where the action's likely to transpire. Vici Gaming setting up for Afninj. He knows these supports are missing. He's hugging the left side of the lane, but they may just try to dive him anyway. Clearing out the wave with the Medusa.
Which Doctor has TP for this?
Preparing.
Which Doctor can come in to actually bail him out?
Can they get the cast to bounce? That'll be the key.
He's at a very good position. He knows what's going on here. Look at the Warlock as well. They're both actually very careful.
Are they careful enough, though? Afninj are going to get caught. Arrow flying already. They still get the opening. Out comes the Mystic Snake. Vici Gaming diving deep for this one. Will end up getting the kill. FY, they want to toss him back into this tier 2, but goddamn, just a bit short on the lift there. As the Phoenix bottom lane begins to take a heavy beating. Ice has got the Supernova. Already an Urn picked up. And they may go back in on this mid lane. Still hanging 3 mid.
Oh my god, that arrow barely missed the Rubik. That was close.
He's just under the gun here. But they've left the Anti-Mage alone top, and he's got a free farm at this point. Super really can't keep him off the lane. Look at the items. He's already got the Rate of Health out, the Quelling Blade Stout, Treads, everything you need before you start going either for the Vanguard or the Battle Fury.
You know, I think it's actually better to go Battle Fury since they don't really need him to fight. They're actually in a good position right now. They can play as greedy as they want to on the Anti-Mage this game. I don't think Vici will be able to punish it severely.
The game where he went Crimson Guard, they were so far ahead, but they didn't get enough done with the Crimson Guard. And whereas if you go for the Battle Fury build, there's much less pressure on your economy. You always have the backup play.
They can farm both the Troll and the AM into a position 1 this game because of how they started the game. Like, the lanes were very good for the AM and the Troll, so they could potentially play that and be as greedy as possible.
And with a Troll backing an Anti-Mage up against a Medusa, you have a very good shot against this Medusa late game. The Mana Burn will completely negate the Mana Shield up to a certain point. As Anti-Mage continues to farm, they're going to get some chains out here, but Super takes a Maledict to the face. Swinging it in his ice. Is he going to drop that Supernova? Now he does. Arts will blink out, but it's too late. He ends up going down to the Phoenix. Ice, getting the double kill from the Spirits, courtesy of those now. Rotating in a bit further, Super drops a Remnant. And FY sets up for a potential arrow. He's thinking about it. He's going to let it loose. Goddamn, able to scurry away. And we'll TP out.
That was very good play from the Ember. He baited them into that situation. He knew that Ice was going to TP in, and he forced them into a position where the dive and the Supernova did so much damage, and they just couldn't fight there after the Fire Spirits hit on all the 3 heroes. That was really good play by them. Very good team play.
Suddenly, you're off lane. Phoenix, leader in net worth. Leader in terms of levels as well, I believe. Already level 7, Quilzian on 8, has the 2 Earth Charges, picks up the Gloves of Haste. He's going to dive in onto mid, trying to just harass goddamn back. And they're setting up for an arrow. If this hits, it'll be an easy takedown. But yeah, it looks like it may be the Midas next for Ice. Gloves of Haste up. If he wants a Midas recipe, he's very close, WinteR.
Yeah, I agree. Like, what Cinderan said was right. This hero basically doesn't need anything apart from just his boots. He still does the same. And arrow gonna hit on Afninj.
Stone Gaze deployed by Black as Afninj scurries backwards. They're going to chase him out a bit. The Warlock ult dropped as Black now. The one in trouble, perhaps. Out comes the slow from the X's. He's overextended. Where's the backup? Ice coming in. That's your backup. He'll dive forward. Swinging on to goddamn, making plays happen. He may end up going down here to Afninj, though he will. And from the low ground, the miss.
The heal actually.
Then the heal enough to keep him alive. So they will preserve him, and now getting the Midas off of this on the back of it, on their Warlock. a lot of experience given up as Arts wanted to TP out. Not gonna happen. Tries to help him.
He
His
TP'd
buddy
in front of the bench as well.
I'm not sure what the plan was, but maybe hoping the Venge just forgot. So Ice, did he spend his gold before he died?
Yeah, he got the Midas.
He got the Midas recipe first. Yeah. Okay. So that'll be a Midas for the Corlock as well as for the Phoenix.
Yeah, both the offlaners getting, both the position 3 players getting a Midas here. It's good for the Warlock, obviously, for the levels and getting the Axe Scepter, and for the Phoenix as well. Good for the levels. And he, like Cinderella mentioned, this hero doesn't need any tool. He just needs his boots, and he's basically gonna do his job as well as you could imagine him.
So it gives them a little extra punch in the late game, I suppose, and also Phoenix just a very level dependent.
Yeah, the level 16 Supernova. Getting the level 16 would be crucial for the hero.
And especially he likes to go this build where you max the dive and just entirely skip the Sunray, so this will allow him to go back for some points in it earlier on in the game.
Yeah, it gives him a lot of kill potential early on, a lot of damage coming out from him. He's gonna move towards top lane, maybe help Super get a gank here. But there's gonna be a ward from HR spotting his rotation.
Well, WinteR, after a crazy topsy-turvy start to the game, who are you favoring here? Anti-Mage and Troll farming very well, so too is the Medusa. Ice snowballing to some extent on the off-lane Phoenix. Golden experience still very close. Who do you like better right now?
I prefer to be in HR's position just because of they have two heroes that can be position 1. Obviously, you can say the same for the Ember and the Medusa, but I just feel like the Ember could take very long time to come online, and he may get targeted down easily if the AM can get out of control, get an Abyssal Bait later. He's not going to be a hard target to actually go on as an anti-mage.
And they've had the great early roaming for Vici Gaming, but these wards from HR might be able to spot out most of those rotations. No lane ward bottom, but you can see the one ward up on the hill mid, as well as the ward that you pointed out in the jungle. That ward about to expire, but it makes it hard for the Mirana while these wards are up. And speaking of the Mirana, FY has a single smoke. They're going to start stacking H-hits here, and this may slow down a bit. Vici Gaming, a light up that can farm the stacks. HR, if they go for the Battlefield Anti-Mage, also light up that can, as FY will get the timely haste turn. Diving forward, swinging around as Ice. They get off a sight as well, then Super gonna Remnant off the cliff. The fire creatures combining here.
Yeah, and I like what Exercise is doing right now. He's giving the lane previously to the support at bottom, and he's just always missing on the map because he's like the greatest threat HR can have right now. They are worried that he might show up in a position where they are diving or trying to kill someone and just turn a fight like what happened on the top lane. Arrow?
FY searching with an arrow here. It's just gonna miss on goddamn. He was walking back into it, but a bit too far away. Now they'll swap him in. They will incinerate that Rubik. Oh my, he drops quickly. Beautiful cast though. Followed up by the Golem. Super gonna zip on out of here. Black gonna retreat. Fenrir, maybe the only one who goes down. And now the Supernova comes. Everybody trying to focus it, but Dread is immolating. Drops too quickly. He ends up falling. They've lost 3. The Anti-Mage, even thinking about joining this one. They're gonna lose Goritz as well. 4 dead already. Vici Gaming lose nothing, and they committed the Golem. It ends up getting picked off. What a train wreck of a team fight.
Yeah,
a 2,500 gold swing.
That was as good as a Phoenix ulti you could ask for. It was such good play and positioning by the Ice Phoenix, getting into the middle of the fight, dropping the fire spirits on everyone, and it was just a perfect execution of spell chain and just positioning as the hero. Well played. Ice.
That is so bad for HR. It's one thing to give up a couple kills there, but also committing the Warlock ultimate, the Chaotic Offering, and still giving up those kills. They just have no ability to control the flow now.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned on the one hand they have the 2 cores, but if the Warlock ulti is used like that and they don't take an objective or at least get some hero kills, then they're really on the back foot.
Well, they do have the tools to claw themselves back into the game though, so I don't think it's just over yet for them. It's just about...
It's just going to be hard right now.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard right now with the Phoenix. Oh, here we go again. Dread going to get caught out here.
And look at it go. Attempted, but not good enough. The Sunray coming through from Ice. He will be forced back. Now a stun as Fenrir arrives. Reinforcements inbound. The chains again coming through. Goritz going to be brought down by Fenrir, it looks like. Ice searching with the spirits. They'll swap and goddamn. They're looking for more kills. They've gotten 2. Make it 3. Vici Gaming just styling on the HellRaisers. And with that Warlock ulti down, there's little way to disengage. This leaves Black in paradise. Free farming away top lane. completely unchecked. Has the Yash up. Ancients were stacked once earlier, I believe, for the Dire squad, and actually twice. Well, I guess it's going to come down to a bit of Rat Dota now.
Top lane as well, Alpha Ninja.
Oh, no.
My God.
Well, from one to the next for Vici Gaming. Alpha Ninja off on his own, not long for this world. Brutal. This is just brutal. It's like they just ate their Wheaties, you know, their spinach.
Time to change our plans for HR. They need to try and dodge fights and just keep ratting and get farm on everyone. They are in no position to take any fights anymore from here. It's so difficult with the Phoenix level 11 at this moment. They have no way of dealing with the Supernova. Like you talk about the battle chance, but they're just in no position every time.
It just kills them too quickly. They go to try to deal with it, and they just end up dying.
Dread is got caught out here again.
Icarus dive. The Spirit's starting to add up quickly, even through the Witch Doctor heal. Now the Supernova will be dropped. Dread taking it into the danger zone. The Spirits will finish the job. And in the meantime, the Warlock ult was dropped top lane. Do they get that first hit? Nope, can't even get in range. No chance for Flaming Fists at this point. And again, the Warlock ult just not particularly effective this game. They haven't had the great openings. Alpha Ninja going in onto FY will get a counter kill. A much needed one. But they're not killing off cores. The Ember, the Phoenix, the Medusa, they've all been healthy through most of these fights.
Yeah, top lane Super looks like he's going to set up for something. He's going to come in from behind as well.
He does indeed come from behind. Goddamn, tossing him back, but Super has the ability to chase this. He goes for the slight. The chains connect as well. Now the chain's stolen. Ain't gonna save him though. The flames are coming from all angles. This time the Magma Ray of Doom deployed by the Phoenix. They're just everywhere, Vici Gaming. Such a mobile and active draft from them.
Just look at the AM and Troll right now. AM is at 7k net worth. Troll is not doing as well. He's at 5k.
Arts might try to go on black here though. This could be a big kill.
Level 1 mana white. He's waiting for the support to come in.
They have it too. The cast comes out. Now the Witch Doctor Ward. Black dropping low to this one. Not a void use, but it was after he got off the stick charges. So it doesn't get much done. And now the rotation. Here comes the bird. Looking for the caw-caw. Arrow fishing. Not going to connect. That could have been a huge kill. But walking up the hill with the Witch Doctor, it gave Black a chance to react and retreat out. Unfortunately, not able to get the kill.
Yeah, I don't even think, even with the stick charge though, it's going to be close though. It's just a level 1 mana void. He needed to deal more damage than that. But looking at the farm, AM definitely has very good farm, but they need to get the throw on eco farm as well.
Ice is just terrorizing these poor supports. Every time he walks in the lane, they have to basically go back to base. They're going to try to re-engage on him though, as they have stolen the Icarus dive. Can they get in range?
They don't have lift so they can't get this kill. He's still on cooldown.
Well,
he wants to force the Supernova at least.
Art's trying for it, but Ice will just back on out. And Vici Gaming playing aggressive in all areas of the map. You see Morana moving through the Radiant jungle. Black way past the river mid. You know he has to have backup. There's no way he's here on his own. And now the Venge going to join the lane as well. And this is all while the Ember Spirit of Super just farms bottom. Vici Gaming, it's the half-court offense. They're just living on HR's side of the map and constantly trying to force them back.
Yeah, and the Ember has caught up nicely back into the game as well. He's sitting at 7k, almost 7k net worth right now. Very close to the rest
WinteR,
of the
what do you think for the Phoenix of Ice? Because he's got an ultimate orb, 1800 gold. Do you just rush a Hex here? Just to lock down the anti-mage?
Yeah, the Hex would always be good against AM, definitely.
Okay. That's such... If he wants to go Hex, he could have it by like 23 minutes or so.
Yeah, they don't have any very reliable lockdown apart from the chains, and Arrow obviously can be countered with a Manta later on by the AM. So having the Hex is definitely a huge plus for their team fight.
Deep smoke. HR on the move. They got to make something happen here. Radiant team now getting into range of FY, but he leaps into the trees. They'll jump their way in with the Rubik stolen Icarus dive, and now he's got the leap. He'll hop right out. They get a nice kill to start this one, but swinging on through his Ice. Where's that Supernova? He's now gonna drop it. Oh my goodness, look at the melt. Vici Gaming just slaughtering HR. That ultimate just destroying them in conjunction with the split shot for the Medusa, as well as the Mystic Snake. So much AoE.
Yeah, they tried to take a fight where they needed to actually pick off someone very quickly to get the numbers going on for them, but it just wasn't the case.
They can't take fights against the Phoenix.
Yeah, they can't. The Phoenix, they saw the thing was they saw the Phoenix at top, and they didn't realize HellRaisers actually TP'd to middle lane very quickly. So he was already very close before the fight started. And it was a good attempt by HR, but it was just the case that VG knew what was going on, and they moved HellRaisers into the jungle very, very quickly.
So brutal onslaught in all areas of the map as they'll now slide out the lane. Gory was thinking about an ultimate. Not going to drop it though. Anti-Mage moving forward, but Ice happy to just dive away. As the entirety of Vici Gaming going to back on out of here bottom lane. They got what they came for. As they win the team fight, they get a nice ward down near the Roshan pit. Ember Spirit, Battle Fury about to come out now. Your Medusa, the leader in net worth, quietly farming away. We'll have our next item momentarily. And HR are going for a bold maneuver. And this is right after Vici Gaming just warded, but uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no. Do they wait for this to expire, or do they just say screw it?
They can't wait for it to expire.
That's a long time to wait. In fact, while they're busy waiting, somehow Vici Gaming are busy looking for the ambush, perhaps. They're damn close to the Roshan. They walk into the pit. The Sleight of Fist comes out. Now the jig is up. They're committed to this Roche. The Sun Ray begins to do its work. Now an arrow coming through. Oh, they're all burning in the flames. They're melting. They're dying left.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're all dead. 5 hit the deck. Vici Gaming ambush them, slaughter them like cattle, steal the Aegis. They don't even bother to pick it up. I guess we don't need it, they say. And I'll just leave it there. Black wants to do a little shopping first. Oh no, Ice. He'll get his Hex. Oh my. That was disgusting.
The Sunray just wrecked the whole team there. They were in a position, they were in a very clumped up position. I guess game just got super hard for them.
That was an extreme desperation play, but honestly, they had to go for something. They had to do something desperate.
They had to do something like that to at least come back into the game. It was just unfortunate that Vici know what was going on, and they were really close at finishing Roshan.
You could tell for Vici Gaming the thought process was the only way HR can come back is if we let them sneak a Roche.
Yeah, and it was the right idea as well. They saw the Remnant there, and they tried to go behind the Remnant where there was no vision, but the Amber thought they might actually be there, and he tried to check it out, and he found them and got them. Gonna get initiated here in middle lane as well. Gonna go down to the Amber.
Well, who's ganking whom? Super now with the Sunray backing him up. He'll get that chains off, and it'll end FNinj once more. Ice still has the ultimate if needed. The new Hex paying off. He can't even use these urn charges quickly enough. 6 in the back pocket as Black will break the base bottom. The entirety of Vici Gaming swinging through. They've had to wait a long time. It's been a very long day one just to get into their first best of 3. But they seem as poised as ever. Hell, they got their Ember cliffed at level 1. You wouldn't know it from the way this game is developed.
You definitely won't. But the supports of the game, I would say, the hero, Fenrir, making the correct rotations, even though HellRaisers did the majority of the work, but Fenrir made everything possible with his early rotations, helping HellRaisers when he realized that top lane was already screwed. And that turned out to be the biggest decision that the supports made that changed the game.
Well, thank you, Pablo. Hopefully letting us know about some item pickups here. The scythe device that's been in service for quite a while now, revealed. Vici Gaming just looking to map control. They take a lane of Rex, they'll push out the top and the mid, and then I imagine WinteR, we just see them go for 2. They're just that far ahead.
Yeah, I don't think HR can even stop it properly. I'm not sure how many buybacks they have to expend to actually make this base defense work. Let's check on their buybacks. How many heroes has buybacks on HR? Anti-Mage and...
Just Anti-Mage.
Just Anti-Mage.
And what's an Anti-Mage buyback really going to offer you at this point?
A little more time, and I don't even know if they can actually defend, even if he buys back.
Maybe if they get a huge Mana Void on the Medusa, but I believe that Medusa completed a Lincoln.
Yeah. They need to make sure they pop it before they want to try that, though.
Yeah, that's a difficult play, but they might have to go for something like that. Super fishing with the Sleight of Fist. Vici Gaming now, do they actually just push through mid? The top lane's being split, pushed by the Anti-Mage. They have the Troll ultimate, so he may be able to take a tower. And right at this moment, they will get the level 2 Warlock ulti, but how much does it offer you against an Ember this farmed, against the Venge minus armor? We'll have to see if it's effective. A lift comes out from Goddamn, stunning 2, but Super continues to just surge right in. He goes for the Slight Chains combo, won't end up connecting, but they just begin the assault. Slowly trying to breach this middle lane. Super the one tanking the tower. He has the Aegis as well. Another Slight Chains attempted. Again, not connecting. Vici Gaming still slowly working their way in mid. And now the anti-mage back, WinteR, and they're going to smoke. And they're coming right back. I don't know if this one will actually surprise HR, but they're swinging around bottom. If they do that, perhaps they can. They go in now with the Blink. The Blink Hex combination very nicely executed by Vici. Gave me no chance to react. The anti-mage dead. Has that no buyback. He actually spent his gold. Now Black and goddamn. Wow, duking it out, but the real winner here is Super, who gets that bonus sleight of fist damage. They are dropping fairly quickly to have a Ninja, but the Warlock ulti's about to wear off. Ice now on the retreat out. Already haven't used the Supernova. They will kill off Golem number 1, kill off Golem number 2, and now the Ray coming out, keeping everyone healthy. As Vici Gaming push once more under the breach, finding the holes in the HR defense. They'll slight in, again searching for the Rubik, and again connecting for a kill. Vici Gaming running roughshod over HR, and at long last, the GGs come out. They were thoroughly beaten. A nice start. Troll farming, anti-mage farming, Cliff to the Ember. Warlock doing well in the lane against the Phoenix, but the rotations of Vici Gaming just too damn good.
Yeah, they totally outmaneuvered and outplayed. It was just a better team. They made so many very good decisions. The Venge moving down bottom after they knew top lane was totally screwed, and helping the Phoenix secure 2 kills on the Warlock. And after that, the Phoenix repaid the team. He made a teleportation to top with his ultimate, and he just took down 3 heroes after. It was just excellent team play. The Ember knew he was coming, baited in front, made the Rubik think it was an easy kill because he was just level 5 at that point. No remnants, so they went for the obvious easy kill, but the Phoenix came in, turned the fight, killed 3 heroes, and that was it.
You know, we saw a very good Phoenix earlier today from Universe, and I mean, Ice seems to be the one just breaking the mold on this hero.
This Phoenix game was way...
This was just dominant. 13-2 and 14 he ends the game. Had to have been involved in 2/3 or more of the kills.
His item selections, I have to say, is just the perfect items to actually deal with the anti-mage, deal with the troll. Getting that early hex is just so deadly against all these mobile heroes.
That was the finisher. At that point, you can't even really split push. You just have no way back into the game.
Yeah.
Not that they really had a great shot, but they had no shot by then.
Yeah, just a very good. It was just a very good game all around for VG, and no one would have guessed how it all started.
No, not at all. And it looked like it was a lineup that didn't have to win at that stage either. They had Medusa Ember, so you have Stone Gaze and a Sleight of Fist, a lot of physical damage. But with that said, game 1 was brutal. Guys, how do HR bounce back?
Brutal is the correct definition for that game. I want to say, if you want to learn how to play Phoenix, probably this is your best game to watch. Ice, playing offlane with the Medusa on his team, manages to outfarm the Medusa 25 minutes into the game based on his plays, and not only farming creeps, but also killing heroes all over the map.
Not just a Medusa, a black Medusa, who's renowned for his farm.
Hey, we don't discriminate for color. Could be any kind of Medusa.
He had a little help from his friends. A certain vengeful spirit named Fenrir was all over the place in his lane, quickly realizing that the safe lane was a bit of a disaster after Ember Spirit got cliffed, and said, look, we're not winning the safe lane, let's get this Phoenix out of control. And that's what happened.
Yeah, they went to all the lanes, they got kills pretty much on everyone. And the thing about, or the weakness rather, of HellRaisers lineup was that they couldn't put enough pressure on the solo course, and that allowed for the 2 supports to roam, and HellRaisers couldn't get any advantage. There was at some point where both Vengeful Spirit and Mirana were roaming, and it forced Warlock and Troll, the safe laner and the mid laner, to play just behind the tower because they didn't know when the gank couldn't come. And slowly but surely, the advantage that they got at the beginning by sticking Ember Spirit into that cliff for 2 minutes vanished, and then it was everything Vici Gaming. HellRaiser must be scared after seeing this, don't you agree?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen... I mean, you guys have seen Phoenixes do well. Mostly I feel like Hero's been underwhelming in general. This is the best I've ever seen the Hero played.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen it snowball this much, not even close.
I feel like he played extremely solidly, but I even think he could do better than this.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a perfect performance by Ice. It was still the best we've seen in this
When he
tournament.
got the first blood, he died, and he didn't need to die as well. That's the other thing. I mean, that's a tiny little thing. He got the first blood.
I mean, we can
but
nitpick it. At the end of the day, that was like 90 to 95% potential of the hero in that game.
To be fair,
he can do better than that. That's the scary part, right?
Well, the other scary thing is, what if Super doesn't get cliffed there?
Yeah.
You're stuck on that cliff for 2 minutes. It could have gone worse because I think HellRaisers like, let's leave him there until Anti-Mage is level 2. Anti-Mage goes and gets the first blood on him. Unfortunately, Warlock was not on the same page. He got killed at bottom. Imagine Anti-Mage with a quick kill, 2.5 minutes in, has level 2, level 3, and then the Ember Spirit goes to lane and is just screwed. But that didn't quite go according to plan. But even so, it's like, it was still, like, he was stuck there. He came to lane level 1 against a level 3 Anti-Mage.
I want to say, in addition to that, HR looked like a team that's not used to playing against Phoenix.
Yes,
that was the other part.
absolutely.
They really set them up for those fights.
The Roshan one was the big one.
Well,
where they
the
all
game was kind of over.
but 5 people getting sun raid just next to each other.
I actually like that they made that play because that goes to show that they had an understanding of the situation they were in the game. That's a Hail Mary play. That's what you do right there. I think any other top team would have gone for the similar play there. So it goes to show they have some understanding. But the chaotic offerings, the first 3, resulted in pretty much nothing. That was probably the biggest problem was that Ice managed to not only score a couple of kills, but they also forced out big cooldowns that HR didn't really get anything in return for. Anti-Mage, it took too long before he came online. I think going into the next game, you have 2 choices. Either you ban the Phoenix because you're not comfortable playing against it, or you learn something from that game, which is you cannot start skirmishing against the Phoenix with 2 heroes at a time because this hero will just Fire Spirit each of you, use Supernova at some odd cliff location where you need to run for 2 seconds to get to attack, and then you can't make it. We never even saw them trying to destroy the Supernova with Battle Trance either, because it was used when he used Supernova, the heroes were in like 1/3 health, and they were just trying to get out. They were fighting for their lives.
It was never a matter of the lack of attack speed. It was always it was the lack of HP.
Yes.
It was never like, oh, the Fire Spirits. I mean, the Fire Spirits were there more for the damage rather than the attack speed slow, because he was so high level, so out of control, snowballing that he was just killing everyone so fast.
To be fair, the combination of the dot from Ember Spirit Shield plus the Fire Spirits from the Phoenix or the Sunray or the Supernova or everything combined, and even Icarus Dive, it was so much that there was no way that the HellRaisers heroes could actually withstand all that dot damage.
How did he skill, by the way, the Phoenix?
He actually maxed dive.
Yeah.
440?
Yeah, 440.
Yep.
That might be the build he goes for when he's dominating, because that's the best build for solo killing.
Yeah.
It has the highest DPS for, and I think those are the 2 builds you want to alternate between. This is the I am owning build, and then there's the I need to play with my team.
I think
build.
he did the 440 build also when he was 1v1 against Zai's Axe, when it was like a... And he at first, actually, Zai solo killed him, but then he came back to lane and solo killed Zai back.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah, then he takes over.
Yeah, that was a really tough lane for the Axe. Like,
They
Axe
picked him in the second phase, right?
Yeah.
So do you guys expect a ban?
Maybe a second stage ban would be would be fair.
The problem is he can play a lot of really great offlaners, and that was a dual lane offlane, at least for the beginning portion.
For the
right?
Phoenix?
Yeah.
No.
definitely
Venge.
two in the
Well, the
lane.
Venge came down like around a minute and a half. Like I think TP down there.
He
or
rotated
walked down.
early.
Yeah, he rotated very fast, but the initial plan was not.
I don't think you can. I don't know. It's tough to ban for Ice, but
Yeah.
that Phoenix was pretty disgusting.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna go into a break. When we come back, we'll have game 2 of HellRaisers versus Vici Gaming. Maybe HellRaisers can come back with some other different picks. Maybe they will ban the Phoenix. Maybe it will be another 25-minute stomp from Vici Gaming. We won't know until the game starts. But before that, we're going to a break. See you guys in a bit.
Don't just stream, bet now. Go to ebattle.com.